Hi there, it's me again, Aunt Dee. We're about to head out onto the beach, on the beach, in Death Stranding 2 with Sam, and see what we can do to advance the main story, I think, a bit. I think we're supposed to head on to the Magellan and do a little bit more of tomorrow's story, but I did want to say that I have done other not as important deliveries. They did allow me to do some upgrades of things that I can use, weapons that I can fabricate and stuff, because as you go along and do deliveries for some of these shelters and stuff, and you fill out a full star, they tend to give you better equipment, more equipment. And what I did a lot of the time is I just ran around trying to find any stuff that was laying on the ground that was a delivery for some place. And if you can grab a lot of those things, you can go and look in the lockers at places like this. You look in the share cargo locker, and you can see there's a whole bunch of dropped off cargo. So you can grab, like right now, I could grab like 5 things to take to the government's base, or I could grab a whole bunch of things to take to the Western Environmental Observatory. And by the same token, if you're running along and you see stuff laying out in the open, you can grab that stuff. Some of it'll be on the way to, like, you're running to go to the Lone Commander's shelter, and you'll see things laying on the ground that are for the Lone Commander. Well, it makes sense to pick that stuff up and take it to him, because you're going to build your connection with him. As you build your connection, you're going to be able to take more materials from his shelter, and it's going to give you better equipment that you can fabricate and things like that. The other thing I did is I ran around trying to add materials to help build roads and stuff. And so I'll show you some of the equipment that was added that I can now create. There would be the floating carrier level 2, which basically allows you to turn the floating carrier into a skateboard. I haven't used it as a skateboard yet, but that's what it does. Another thing was I got the lightweight assault rifle, so it just means that you can lessen your weight so you can carry more things if you carry the lightweight assault rifle instead. I also got the lightweight trank sniper rifle. It still makes a loud bang, which the brigands and all that can hear, so it doesn't help you in that regard. And then I got the level 2 blood grenades, which is obviously an upgraded version of the blood grenade. And then there are some hollow grenades that I got. I can't remember if I had already gotten, there's a decoy one that allows you to, of course, decoy the enemies away from you. There's a stealth one that allows you to basically hide within, I think it's kind of, you hide within a hologram of something. And then there's the BT hollow grenade, which I haven't used any of these yet, but this allows you to create a hologram of a BT, which if somebody gets too close to it, they can tell it isn't real. But if you use it and they don't see you using it, or they're at a little bit of a distance, it's going to make them scared and get them to run the other way if that's your goal. There's also the custom high voltage rod, which is similar to, these are both similar, these rods are similar to weapons that the brigands will throw at you, and it tries to short circuit your battery and stuff, so it will reduce your battery power. Might make, some of these hollow grenades, and I should try them out at some point in time. I have so much stuff that I'm carrying, I really have to think about what I'm doing. I've got all these weapons and things, and I don't know if I really need to be carrying all of these things. But the other thing that I did is, because I got more points for this APAS enhancement system as you make deliveries and build up your stars, you also get more, they call it memory, to add on these buffs. So I've added a few things here. There's weather analysis that I haven't used yet. There's just a whole bunch of things. And I think this was one of the last ones, this improved floating character. The improved floating carriers, which all of the floating carriers consume the golden chiral crystals you find. This reduces how much they use. This gives your batteries a boost, makes them more efficient. This helps the carriers become more maneuverable when you're riding it. Aim assistance. And this one is if somebody's throwing a grenade at you or another projectile, it allows you to see where it's going to land so you can get out of the way. There's just various other ones that are included here. Just little buffs you can add on. So I think what we should do, I think what we're supposed to do is probably go to our room and see what we're going to learn about tomorrow. And Sam needs a shower bad.
Good morning to you, Sam.
Look at his face.
The Pequod is the ship in which Ahab pursues Moby Dick on his quest for vengeance. His crew includes Dutchmen, Frenchmen, Spaniards, Portuguese, Icelanders, as well as shipmates from China and India. Countless other people of myriad origins, too. It is arguably symbolic of the multiracial United States. A gathering of souls that transcends ethnic and national divisions, united in pursuit of a singular goal. I can't help but be reminded of Kojima Productions. Wait, judging by your reaction, you've never heard of Kojima Productions? Sam, you can't be serious.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Oh boy, I really miss the taste of food. Tomorrow seemed to react negatively to overstimulation. This is likely just a defensive mechanism, so to speak. A way to safeguard her mind from the strange and unfamiliar. At times like these, it's best to limit the number of people attempting to help the distressed individual. So let's trust in Rainy and Fragile to take care of her. You've been receiving more dangerous orders. I respect your willingness to undertake them without any fuss. Please, don't hesitate to rely on me for assistance if you ever find yourself in need of it. While I'm incapable of fighting like you, if you throw me toward your enemies, I can keep them distracted, for a short while at least. Come to think of it, the brigands' vehicles are of a rather antiquated design, significantly different from the standard pickup off-roader. You won't be able to get them repaired at distribution centers or on the DHV Magellan. Can't even store them in a garage. They're enemy property after all. Too risky to bring inside our facilities. Could be booby-trapped. I'd not get into the habit of using them too often if I were you. Sam, it was a place that belonged to the dead. And while we were trapped there, only a scant few seconds seem to have passed here. It's like the beach in that regard. Time flows differently there, relative to how it does in our world. Those battlefields you once journeyed to were also pockets of reality outside of ours. But this was different. Perhaps we'll be able to understand it better if we ever get the chance to go there again. Which isn't to say that I want to go back.
Oh, he was talking about that place with all the fireworks and that guy that looks like Solid Snake.
Come to think of it, I was looking into the conditions that led to the bushfire we escaped. It seemed to have been caused by a phenomenon known as chiral cinders. Unlike other items washed up by the currents, cinders violently erupt from the tar and soar through the sky before crashing to the ground. This phenomenon has been observed across the continent and has led to an increase in bushfires. It's one more potential threat to keep an eye out for. Sam, ever wanted to learn more about the various creatures housed at the animal shelter, Sam? Well, there's a speaker outside the facility that they use to broadcast updates. Might be good to check in on some of the animals we've taken there once in a while. Sam, I'm so glad that we were able to save that kangaroo's life. It's easy to forget that humans aren't the only creatures affected by the Death Stranding. Protecting our remaining wildlife isn't just the right thing to do. It can also help us to better understand how the environment has changed. Ah, yes. The kangaroo you rescued is currently being cared for and studied at the animal shelter. You know, if you ever want to stop by and see how it's doing, I wouldn't object. Sam, are you curious how I maintain my youthful appearance? It's because Rainy lets me shower in her core fall from time to time.
Okay, that's not creepy.
Ah, yes. There are organisms in this area that I don't believe I've ever laid eyes on before. My understanding is that they're called chiral creatures, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Apparently, they will drain your batteries if you come into contact with them. There may be other deleterious effects for all we know. And really, you shouldn't be bothering them anyway. There's nothing to be gained from it. It's not like they drop coins when defeated. Apropos of nothing, the brigands object to virtually all forms of change. Which begs the question of how they managed to get their hands on that disruptor device, or chiral jammer, doesn't it? Come to think of it, apparently you can create your own custom playlist for the music player. If you have any recommendations, I'm all ears, Sam. I don't really have anything else to say right now.
I really like him.
That's it. That's it. Everything's okay.
So I guess we're supposed to just continue on. Maybe not learn more about tomorrow right now. Maybe learn about tomorrow at some other point in time. So let's move on. Oh, we gotta go to the dessert. I'm sorry. Wrong place. We gotta go out here. Let's take our time. We gotta go to the observatory to take on the order.
Let's get a move on.
Sam, by linking up the various sites farther to the north, you'll eventually be able to establish a connection to Hartman's facility. In short, it's time to tackle the northern part of the continent. Start by bringing the F2 South Distribution Center into the network. Some of the staff there are former residents of Cape Fort Knott who managed to escape the city before it was swallowed up by the tar. In addition to overseeing distribution operations, they also protect the facility from would-be assailants. Unfortunately, local chiral contamination levels are extremely high, leading to disturbing reports of paranormal phenomena near the facility. The cargo you're tasked with delivering should aid staff in dealing with this issue. Accept the main order from this delivery terminal to proceed.
Commencing route creation. Delivery route finalized. This cargo has been designated Do Not Submerge.
Order accepted. Thank you.
You'll be in my thoughts.
So we'll go over some of the road out there. Not quite there yet. Basically, the roads take a lot of pyrocrystals, metals, and ceramics. And I wasn't the only one that contributed to it, so I just added the amount of materials that was needed to finish the road that someone had already started. So that this is a part of the road that I added to. But there's another road that goes up here that's pretty cool. I haven't seen that one before. That wasn't in the game the last time I played.
Now leaving chiral network coverage.
Materials so we can add to it.
Okay.
Alright. Shows that I need 2,500 in metals, 2,560, 2,580 in ceramics. So I'm sure I don't have enough, but we'll add to it and hope somebody else comes along to add some more. That could have been bad. Not supposed to submerge the material, the delivery that we had, and that was an instant flood like that. Not that we can walk in the area, but it's the big big bridge right now.
Let's go.
drawbridge, I presume. Yeah, you seem like the genuine article. Welcome. Hope it wasn't too hard to track. I'll just need a moment to check your cargo. How did you manage to get it here without even a single scratch? You must be some kind of miracle worker.
I am.
You have been making a real difference around here. Keep it up, all right? All right. Go ahead and put us on the chiral network.
Combat boots. Wonder. Mm-hmm. You can kick them.
Now displaying your current porter grade.
So we've been linked up, at last. There's also the necrobiotes you brought us as well. Feels like we finally turned a corner.
For our part, we've shared data for some custom vehicle components, as well as some sturdy combat boots. I'm sure the vehicle parts in particular will come in handy for combat and cargo retrieval. You need all the help you can get, because those armed survivalists waiting for you out east are far more dangerous foes than the brigands. They're a bunch of fools who won't hesitate to kill people, with no shortage of lethal weaponry. Though I'll be damned if I know where they got it. Make sure you're prepared before you head their way. Speaking of which, those combat boots ought to add some serious power to your kicks. You might want to equip a pair if you intend on getting up close and personal. We've uploaded some schematics for pickup off-roader parts. One of them is a heavy machine gun. It automatically acquires and fires at targets in range. It uses MP bullets for added versatility. It's effective not only against human enemies like armed survivalists, but BTs as well.
That's
The other part is a sticky cannon. When mounted, it independently scans for cargo in the vehicle's vicinity and collects it. You'll find it makes rounding up dropped cargo easier than ever. And who wouldn't want that? Pickup off-roaders can be equipped with 2 parts like these simultaneously. So choose whatever's best for the situation at hand. They're not something just anyone should be messing with. Their affinity with the dead makes them dangerous. But that's also why we can use them to prevent the dead from attacking us. With that kind of power at our disposal, we can put people's minds at ease. Could solve all kinds of problems, I'm sure. Some people have called me that. A while back, we had a situation with this group that went around looting whatever supplies they felt like. And I was the boxing champ who went up against these guys and sent them all packing with nothing but his bare fists. That's the story they tell, but it sure as hell ain't the truth. I didn't charge gallantly into battle and beat the shit out of them. I approached them in peace so we could work it out. I asked why they were stealing from other people, and they said it was because they didn't have the skills to live any other way. So I taught them other ways to survive, trained them a bit. Nothing more than that, really. In the end, all we had to do was talk to each other. They weren't like the other riffraff you find around here. And they're still here. In fact, working in this facility. If anyone around here deserves to be called a hero, It's you, Sam. I mean, you're the one trekking across Australia trying to bring everyone together. Anyway, right now, we're trying to develop equipment tailored to close combat specialists. If we succeed, anyone will be capable of fighting as well as the so-called Golden Fist. Feel free to lend a hand if our project interests you. Thanks again. We're glad to have you in our corner. With your support, we'll be able to do so much more for others. Stay strong and keep doing your thing. We're in this fight together.
Sam, you're the best. Now get yourself back to the DHV Magellan and take a load off. Just so you know, tomorrow's been doing much better. Pay her a visit when you can, okay?
Order complete. Well done.
So I made the mistake of going and trying to take too many materials, but you've got to make sure if you're going to fabricate something that the facility still has enough materials to do that, so sometimes you can't take everything that they've got. If you have already fabricated everything you want to, then you can take a look and see if you can claim some materials for yourself. But the other place you can look and see, look, there's all these other vehicles parked here. You could steal somebody else's vehicle to use for a time. I think they still have it in their world. You're just using a version of theirs. But I'll stick with mine. Gonna see
Vehicle ready. Please.
I shouldn't have done that yet.
Feels good.
I need to check on. See if I can make any more batteries for the truck. I don't know if they've got enough materials, but we'll see. It always helps to have enough batteries. Okay, she makes me want to sing Little Orphan Annie tomorrow.
Necrobiotes are fascinating, and they seem to have become more commonplace lately as well, ever since you and I were swallowed up by that tarfall, to be specific. This sudden increase in the population should be considered yet another example of an environmental anomaly. If we successfully extend the network across the continent and trigger a plague gate to appear, such anomalies should begin to wane. So, Samson Hook from the F2 South Distribution Center is not a man to be trifled with, no sir. I did some research, and I found he's a popular local figure, beloved by one and all, it seems. Known as the Golden Fist as well. But don't misunderstand. I'd wager the people's love for him is not rooted solely in his considerable martial prowess.
I think I have to go back to the Magellan. I think I screwed up. maybe extend his monorail a bit. But there is a bridge over there, it looks like.
There we go. Get out of my way.
I think we'll stop here for this time, and then we'll continue into the Magellan and see what's going on with tomorrow. Thanks again for joining me for this episode of Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I really appreciate you watching. If you feel it's worth it, please leave me a like and even a subscribe. And take good care of yourselves and each other. Bye for now.